But the story of Sonic, Toronto's youngest gang leader. Let's get it.
Shadows of Toronto's In the shadows of Toronto's Thorncliffe Park, 19-year-old Salman Jogiat, better known in the streets as Sonic, rose to infamy as the alleged leader of a violent street gang that drew the full attention of the city's guns and gangs unit.
There are 95 charges in all, and police allege the ringleader is a Toronto man, Salman Jogiat, who faces by far the most counts at 42, including 2 of attempted murder. And 8 of conspiracy to commit murder. He is just 19 years old.
By the summer of
He's
2020,
just 19.
after an 8-month investigation, police executed a major takedown project targeting Sonic and his crew, laying nearly 100 charges ranging from attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder to firearms trafficking and drug dealing. But it wasn't just the volume of charges that shocked the city or the age of the so-called gang leader. It was Sonic's boldness. Before his arrest, he was allegedly prepared to put a $100,000 bounty on the head of the man who killed his cousin, a chilling move that marked a turning point in the case. This wasn't just street talk. Police intelligence confirmed the threat was real, revealing a deeper level of organization, control, and violent intent.
Niggas want that honey.
Neighborhood beef had spiraled into high-stakes retaliation backed by serious money, cementing Sonic as more than just a local figure. He became a central player in Toronto's growing gang conflict and an online topic of obsession and speculation. This is the story of Sonic.
Yeah, the Thorncliffe right here for you guys.
Residents living in Thorncliffe Park say there's a change happening in the area, and not a good one.
Thorncliffe did see year-over-year jumps in robberies, child abuse calls, and car thefts.
This area has been an area where they have lots of gangs, and it's very threatening sometimes.
From the Thorncliffe area, where police are on the scene of a shooting, they say several callers reported hearing multiple gunshots.
Thorncliffe shit!
Born on December 6, 2001, Sonic was the third of 4 children raised in a struggling immigrant household in Thorncliffe Park, a densely populated...
2001? Damn! Y'all niggas young as shit, god damn.
4 children raised in a struggling immigrant household in Thorncliffe Park, a densely populated East York neighborhood. Once a racetrack and farmland, Thorncliffe Park,
go to sleep,
nicknamed TPK by locals, transformed into one of Toronto's most unique and diverse urban communities, home to more than 25,000 residents. Known as Little Pakistan, over 63% of the population were immigrants as of 2016, with nearly 90% identifying as Muslim and large communities from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Syria, and Afghanistan. Sonic's parents immigrated from Gujarat, India, his father arriving in 1993 with only a 5th grade education and limited English. He scraped together a living by selling fruits and vegetables on street corners, sometimes supplemented by social assistance. His mother arrived in 1995 through an arranged marriage and stayed at home to raise her 4 children in a cramped cockroach and vermin-infested 2-bedroom apartment. Their household was plagued by poverty and domestic violence, set against the broader backdrop of a neighborhood marked by crime, economic struggle, and overcrowded housing. Sonic attended North America's largest elementary school, Thorncliffe Park Public School, where he was placed in special education classes as early as grade 1 due to learning difficulties. He was later diagnosed with a mild intellectual disability, his psychoeducational assessments ranking his cognitive abilities in the 3rd percentile. He was relentlessly bullied for his academic challenges and struggled with focus, memory, and learning.
See, I watched some other shit like that about somebody else in Toronto, but my point is basically, I feel like kids that began bullied when they was younger, like they just got some type of anger and some revenge inside them that they gotta get back, you feel me?
Assessments ranking his cognitive abilities in the 3rd percentile. He was relentlessly bullied for his academic challenges and struggled with focus, memory, and learning. Despite occasional support, like a teacher who got him into a free ice hockey program, he eventually dropped out of school after being expelled in the 10th grade for robbery. Shortly after this, he gravitated toward the streets. He started selling weed to afford food, later moving on to crack and cocaine. By the age of 16, he was already in the system. He was convicted on October 5, 2018, for drug possession, drug trafficking, and failing to comply with a recognizance. He was sentenced to 18 months probation and received a mandatory weapons prohibition. But the real turning point came a year later when he was shot in the leg while attending the annual Taste of the Danforth Festival, an attack allegedly sparked by...
Wait, that shit just turned up OD. How he just go from being bullied to crashing out? Hold up, my fault. Nigga went from being bullied to ice hockey to crashing out. What the hell?
Learning. Despite occasional support, checking his cognitive abilities in the 3rd percentile, he was relentlessly bullied for his academic challenges and struggled with focus, memory, and learning. Despite occasional support, like a teacher who got him into a free ice hockey program, he eventually dropped out of school after being expelled in the 10th grade for robbery. Shortly after this, he gravitated toward the streets. He started selling weed.
So I'm tripping. So from 1st grade all the way to 10th side. So you went from 1st to 10th grade, you feel me? Then after 10th grade, he said, fuck it. Now, he crashing out. Cause I had to understand how we get from 1st grade all the way to 10th. What happened to the whole story? My fault, okay? My fault, okay? My fault.
To afford food, later moving on to crack and cocaine. By the age of 16, he was already in the system. He was convicted on October 5, 2018, for drug possession, drug trafficking, and failing to comply with a recognizance. He was sentenced to 18 months probation and received a mandatory weapons prohibition. But the real turning point came a year later when he was shot in the leg while attending the annual Taste of the Danforth Festival, an attack allegedly sparked by neighborhood tensions after he was seen wearing a Thorncliffe Park affiliated sports hoodie. Rather than scare him straight, the shooting pushed him deeper into the streets. You see, even with a packed community center and programs like the Friday Bazaar trying to hold things together, TPK couldn't escape its struggles with gun violence. In 2018, the growing issue exploded onto international headlines when Faisal Hussein, a local kid, carried out the Danforth mass shooting. The gun was traced back to his brother, Fahad Hussein, a known member of a local Thorncliffe gang dubbed the Thorncliffe Park Kings. It was a harsh reminder that under all the community pride and immigrant hustle, the streets still had a heavy hand in shaping lives here. In addition to gun violence, Thorncliffe Park had been haunted for decades by deep-rooted gang violence, including long-standing tensions with crews raining from the nearby Flemington Park neighborhood. Flemington Park, often called Flemmo by locals, holds a rich and often overlooked place in Toronto's musical history, particularly in hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Despite being a small, tightly packed neighborhood in East York, Flemmo has produced an impressive number of influential artists who helped shape the sound and culture of Toronto's urban music scene long before it hit the global stage. With the help of artists like Cardinal and rap crews like GCP,
life like the wire set the streets on fire.
Flemmo became one of the first neighborhoods where you could hear rap verses laced with local slang, references to Toronto-specific issues, and a storytelling style that felt raw and unfiltered. Flemmo artists undoubtedly played a pivotal role in laying the foundation for what would eventually be known as the Toronto Sound. Annual block parties and underground shows were crucial in building Flemmo's grassroots music scene, even when mainstream recognition was hard to come by. But while Flemmo was carving out its cultural identity through music, it was also grappling with a much darker reality. The long-standing gang rivalry between Flemmo and TPK wasn't just about proximity, it was a clash born out of poverty and territorial pride. Though only a short walk apart in East York, these two densely populated immigrant-heavy communities have been at odds for over a decade, with gangs like the Flemmo Park Bloods and the Thorncliffe Park Kings exchanging gunfire, stabbings, and threats in a deadly game of retribution. Violence between the two intensified in the early 2000s when outlaw motorcycle gangs and the Italian mafia began hiring Afghan-affiliated groups from Thorncliffe to do their dirty work.
What's that on? Why they got this red shit on their shit? And I'm not gonna lie, I never heard of these areas before, so I'm locked in. I never heard of this before. This is all new to me, gang. Not gonna lie to you.
The violence in East York reached its peak in 2006 with the savage murder of 17-year-old Omar Wellington from Flemmo, who was reportedly stabbed, tortured, and left to die in a ravine near his home for failing to return a $1,500 firearm to his crew. The killing shook the city.
Y'all did all of that for a gun? Damn!
Near his home for failing to return a $1,500 firearm to his crew. The killing shook the city, prompting the Toronto community.
See, you did not see you fucking with your crew. See, I feel bad that they did that for you though. You feel me? Rest in peace for me. I feel bad. But see, you did something. You did something. You see, you did something. You fucked up in the crew, gang. You did something.
$1,500 firearm to his crew. The killing shook the city, prompting the Toronto Community Housing Corporation to install over 120 surveillance cameras throughout Flemmo's low rises at a cost of nearly $1 million. Yet, many were quickly vandalized, and by the following year, at least 22 cameras were inoperable. Throughout the late 2000s and early 2010s, police launched several targeted raids aimed at dismantling the crews causing carnage in East York, including the Flemmo Park Bloods, Thorncliffe's Afghan Fighting Generation, and the Thorncliffe Park Kings. At the time, Canada began relying heavily on immigration enforcement to disrupt gang structures by deporting key figures, a strategy previously used to break up Tamil gangs in Toronto, Haitian gangs in Montreal, and Honduran gangs in Vancouver. However,
we got Haitians in fucking Canada. Let's fucking go. Run me back. We got
Haitians in Canada. Thorncliffe's Afghan Fighting Generation, and the Thorncliffe Park Kings. At the time, Canada began relying heavily on immigration enforcement to disrupt gang structures by deporting key figures, a strategy previously used to break up Tamil gangs in Toronto, Haitian gangs in Montreal, and Honduran gangs in Vancouver. However, traditional convictions were often hard to secure due to a lack of witness cooperation and a deeply embedded fear of being labeled a snitch. While these crackdowns helped reduce open conflict between Flemmo and TPK, they didn't erase the violence, they simply and a deeply embedded fear of being labeled a snitch. While these crackdowns helped reduce open conflict between Flemmo and TPK, they didn't erase the violence, they simply changed its form. Today, the gang war has turned inward. Thorncliffe Park now faces a new wave of violence not from rival neighborhoods, but from within its own walls. A younger generation of Thorncliffe Park-bred gang members, raised during the height of the original feud, have begun turning on each other at an alarming rate. What was once about neighborhood loyalty has evolved into personal vendettas. Social media platforms like Instagram and YouTube have become battlegrounds, with diss tracks, Instagram lives, and encrypted stories serving both as threats and provocation.
Wait. Because I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what's this about. But that OD, if he passed away and the ops put the weed on his shit like that, that's OD. I never seen that one before. Going ball up and seeing it coming through the floor. I don't know what that means. But yeah, that would be OD. If he's crushing the weeds, that's OD. That's OD.
The music scene in the area has mirrored this shift.
Oh yeah, that's Roadrunner right there.
Roadrunner gaining attention for subtly referencing ongoing feuds and the street life that fuels them.
Runner, these scars so deep, I never go hell. Only time I feel alive when I pop these pills.
Roadrunner is a Pakistani-Canadian rapper from Thorncliffe Park, known for his raw storytelling and melodic flow. He first made waves with his 2019 single Never Again, followed by standout tracks like Freezing and Nightmares. Even after being shot 7 times and arrested during a raid the following year, where officers found around 80 grams of cocaine and more than $5,000 stuffed inside a backpack, Roadrunner's momentum didn't slow. He was placed on house.
Oh, they got a doc with Roadrunner too? Oh, we gonna tap in right after this. We gotta tap in.
Stuffed inside a backpack. Roadrunners
right here with what's his name? Brandon, right? Brandon Buckingham. Yeah, we gotta tap into this. We gotta see. And it's so crazy. Yo, it's crazy. We just started reacting to him recently. Now we about to learn about the nigga. I didn't even know he got shot at or shot 7 times. That's crazy, bro. Shit's crazy.
Grams of cocaine and more than $5,000 stuffed inside a backpack. Roadrunner's momentum didn't slow. He was placed on house arrest for the rest of the year, but used the time wisely, dropping his debut project Forever Alone, which topped iTunes Canada's hip-hop chart. Runner and Sonic were close, tight enough that Sonic made an appearance in Roadrunner's music video for the song Freezing, flashing a stack of cash nearly as long as his head. Their bond ran deeper than visuals. In the opening credits of Aftermath, a heartfelt track dedicated to his late friend Nuski, Roadrunner calls for the freedom of Sonic, who was behind bars at the time of the song's release. Sonic was once Roadrunner's right-hand man, but after Nuski was killed, the gang dynamics in TPK unraveled fast, setting off a deadly domino effect of bloodshed and revenge. Let's be honest, in the streets, getting finessed is the quickest way to take a loss. And whether it's in real life or online, the game doesn't change. If you're not moving smart, you're getting played. That's why you need Coopert, a completely free browser extension.
My boy doing ads now. I love it, my nigga. Get that money, bro. But I gotta skip that shit, my nigga. Get that fucking money, my nigga. We gotta get back to the real shit. Get back to this real shit, man. Let me get that money though.
This is 21-year-old Mohammed Ashaksai, better known as Nuski,
So after Nuski died, they saying niggas now the gang is about to start getting shaky. So we might start hearing some backdoor activity, gang. Shit might get spicy.
notorious drug trafficker bred from the streets of TPK. Nuski was no stranger to violence or headlines. His name first hit the news in 2017 after he was arrested for a brutal kidnapping, robbery, and beating in rival territory, Flemmo. Police say a 22-year-old man and a 16-year-old boy met Nuski for a drug deal on December 8, 2017, but were forced at gunpoint to a secluded area where two more men joined Nuski. The group allegedly beat and robbed the victims, held a knife to the teens' neck, and forced them to give up their home addresses, threatening to harm their families if they spoke out. After about 3 hours, they were released. Nuski, just 18 at the time, was
Yo, you think at this time, right? You like when a nigga got the knife to his neck, do you think you could come up with an address, a fake address like that? Like, so you don't give up, like, but a good fake address, though, like, on the pressure, that's tough, though. Like, yo, give me your family address, nigga, like, you gotta think of a fake address off the, that's tough. Now I'm about to start thinking of fake addresses now. Like, just in case, like, that shit's crazy.
Enjoying Nuski. The group allegedly beat and robbed the victims, held a knife to the teens' neck, and forced them to give up their home addresses, threatening to harm their families if they spoke out. After about 3 hours, they were released. Nuski, just 18 at the time, was arrested 2 months later and hit with 19 charges, including kidnapping, robbery, assault, and multiple weapons offenses. But jail didn't slow him down. Just 7 months later, police pulled over a vehicle at St. Denis Drive and Linkwood Lane, finding Nuski with a loaded rifle, handgun, and cocaine. He and 2 others were arrested and charged with 13 offenses, including firearm possession and trafficking cocaine. Then came the 2019 road rage incident that made headlines. While driving a black Range Rover along Danforth Avenue, Nuski crashed into another man's car. When the man began photographing the scene, Nuski and an accomplice attacked him. When a 74-year-old bystander tried to help, Nuski, armed with a knife, assaulted him, sending him to the hospital.
Now we about to turn up. Once you kill the innocent, it's over, nigga. Now they about to put belt to ass to you, bro. Holy. And that's crazy, though, bro. Because you could have just... But maybe they didn't have insurance on the car. Maybe they were driving a stolen car. Maybe, whatever. But if it was your car, you got insurance on it, just take the L on the insurance. Feel me? Especially if you was wrong. And go about the day. Let the nigga take his pictures. I feel like Nuski was wrong on that one, bro. Just go... Feel me? Now you causing more shit. You feel me? Now you adding more shit. You adding more fuel to the fire type shit. Feel me? You beating up the nigga taking the pictures. Now you stabbing the nigga that's trying to help. Fucked up, bro. Let's get it.
2019 road rage incident that made headlines. While driving a black Range Rover along Danforth Avenue, Nuski crashed into another man's car. When the man began photographing the scene, Nuski and an accomplice attacked him. When a 74-year-old bystander tried to help, Nuski, armed with a knife, assaulted him too, sending him to the hospital. Nuski fled but was quickly hit with a warrant and eventually surrendered to police, facing multiple charges including assault with a weapon and robbery. Despite his mounting legal troubles, Nuski's reputation on the streets only grew. Known for being fearless and confrontational, he became a respected name in TPK and was reportedly on his way to making $1 million purely from drug sales. But by 2019, Toronto Police's Guns and Gangs unit had Nuski and his growing empire under a months-long investigation. They called it Project Kraken. Launched by Toronto Police in 2019, Project Kraken was a major crackdown on the Chester Lee Gang, a Scarborough-based crew deeply involved in drug trafficking, firearms smuggling, and violent robberies across the GTA. Although Nuski wasn't officially a Chester Lee member, investigators believed he was closely tied to their operations. This wasn't street-level crime, it was...
Look at the young boy. Look at the young boy.
He was closely tied to their
Look at the young boy.
operations.
Look at the young boy training early, bro. This shit is crazy.
This wasn't street-level crime. It was organized and calculated. One of their boldest tactics involved using the corrupt tow truck industry. Here's how it worked. Before a robbery, someone would fire a gun in a nearby plaza to draw police away. Meanwhile, a tow truck would ram into a jewelry store's entrance. Seconds later, masked crew members would flood inside, clearing out hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of goods, all in under a minute. Police caught onto the pattern and started tracking them. They traced the gang's meetup spot to an auto shop on Crockford Boulevard in Scarborough. Setting up covert surveillance, they captured footage of robbery suspects and their vehicles regularly gathering there. After one heist, police swooped in. Surveillance footage shows officers storming the lot, weapons drawn. Some suspects immediately surrendered.
Damn, look at all the cars back there.
Ditching guns, wallets, and even their pants as they scrambled over fences. Eventually, they were all caught. While there's no evidence Nuski took part in those robberies directly, Toronto police confirmed he was a primary subject of Project Kraken. And by June 25, 2019, they decided to take him down. Around 8 p.m., officers spotted Nuski driving his white Mercedes-Benz at Midland Avenue and Midwest Road. They began tailing him before boxing him in with unmarked cruisers. Plainclothes officers leapt out, guns drawn, ordering Nuski and his 3 passengers to surrender. But Nuski didn't comply. Instead, he got out, ramming an officer and pinning his legs against another vehicle. In response, another officer opened fire, hitting Nuski multiple times. Nuski was rushed to Sunnybrook Hospital, but pronounced dead. The injured officer survived and was released from hospital later that night.
In this moment, police surrounding a white Mercedes, guns drawn, what appears to be a fatal mistake. The white car moves forward, briefly pinning an officer.
Another police officer then
discharged
the vehicle multiple times.
Bullets strike the driver, and police move in.
That they were doing CPR until the ambulance came. They continue, and they even continue.
Yeah. My fault. I just seen your comment. What's the other hood called? The third one. I can't think of the name, but yeah, the nigga did look like 3M French. That looked like him too. I couldn't think of his name though, but I was like, he do look familiar.
CPR until
putting locations together.
So it didn't look good at all.
Neighbors said they heard at least 2 shots just after 8 o'clock.
Yo, Nuski was bugging though. You feel me? Where you going? Where you going? Put the car in park, bro. You could have saved your life if you would just put the car in park, bro. So it's crazy, my nigga. Come on, you gotta think, bro. The last time you was in an accident, you crashed. This time, you need to woosah, bro. Just woosah, gang. Come on, bro. Nuski could have been here, yeah.
So it didn't look good at all.
Neighbors said they heard at least 2 shots just after 8 o'clock last night. The 21-year-old was taken to Sunnybrook Hospital where he later died.
Police officers were investigating the driver of this vehicle, and then in the area of Midwest and Midland, they decided to stop the vehicle.
According to the Special Investigations Unit, it was the Guns and Gangs Unit investigating the driver.
Nuski's death sent shockwaves through his family and friends, but for the streets, it meant opportunity. Rumors quickly spread online that Nuski had built a drug operation pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars, and with him gone, someone had to take over. One of those eager to step up was 16-year-old Nasrullah Abdul Rashid, better known as CC. But there was a problem. His buddy Sonic, who was a few years older and far more experienced, believed he was next in line to inherit the trapline. Although CC and Sonic were friends, the tension between them grew fast. Sonic felt seniority earned him the right to take...
Ooh, I like this now. I like this, nigga. Nah, I was here first, feel me? I got more experience, nigga. How you... Ooh, niggas is hating now. Niggas is hating. He didn't want to be second man. You feel me? He want to be second man. I want to run this shit, nigga. I want to run this shit. Ooh, CC, you about to get belt,
his buddy
nigga.
Sonic, who was a few years older and far more experienced, believed he was next in line to inherit the trapline. Although CC and Sonic were friends, the tension between them grew fast. Sonic felt seniority earned him the right to take over. CC, however, disagreed. The dispute heated up to the point they agreed they'd settle it face to face the next time they crossed paths. But the streets rarely leave room for fair fights. On April 5th,
so how I take that last man standing, gang? Because they ain't say they was gonna fight. They could have fought. They niggas said we gonna handle this whenever we see each other. Yeah, that's last man standing, gang.
Time they crossed paths. But the streets rarely leave room for fair fights. On April 5th, 2020, at 10:42 p.m., Toronto police responded to reports of gunfire at a parking lot near the outdoor pool at 1 Leaside Park Drive. When officers arrived, they found CC inside a vehicle, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Paramedics performed CPR, but it was too late. CC was pronounced dead at the scene, becoming Toronto's 19th homicide victim of the year.
CC should have just been number 2. You feel me? You feel me? If a nigga wants some shit that bad, just give it to him. You feel me? It's no need to fight with your man. You feel me? Now you fighting with your man. Nigga, he wanted that shit bad, gang. He wanted it bad, bro. He said you don't deserve it. If a nigga feel like you don't deserve some shit, he deserve. Fuck it, nigga, because your life is way more important. How this shit, gang? Feel me? That's that pride, gang. Pride.
Multiple gunshot wounds.
Crazy.
Paramedics performed CPR, but it was too late. CC was pronounced dead at the scene, becoming Toronto's 19th homicide victim of the year. The community was stunned, but what made it worse was the rumor that Sonic, his own friend, was the one who pulled the trigger. News traveled fast, and it didn't take long before people close to CC began plotting revenge. 2 months after the death of CC, on June 9th, at around 7:30 p.m., gunfire.
So how I look at it, how I'm thinking now, the gang, you feel me? Now the gang got a split. Whoever fuck with CC is on this side. Whoever fuck with bro is on this. With Sonic is on this side, gang. Now it's about to be war inside the whole shit. You feel me? Now the gang up here. You feel me? What's bro name? The Tamolos? I can't think of their name, gangs. Whatever. Feel me? They over there like these niggas is gonna kill each other. We don't even gotta do nothing, bro. We just chilling, watching these niggas kill each other. It's crazy. They killing each other just because who want to be in charge. You feel me? That's tough.
Erupted beside Leonard Linton Park. A group was sitting in a parked car when another vehicle pulled up and opened fire. Police arrived shortly after and found 2 20-year-old men wounded. One of them was Maz Jogiat, aka Machu. Although one victim survived, Machu died later in hospital. Machu was well loved in the Thorncliffe Park community, which made it even harder to grasp why he had become a target of gun violence, not once, but twice.
A friend of the victims who did not want to show his face on camera says Jogiat grew up in nearby Thorncliffe Park and says this is not the first time he's been shot at.
I just know that it happened once before. He was shot at. He didn't get hit. His uncle got hit. He was a young kid. He was very family oriented. He had a lot of family over here. He was loved by a lot of people.
Machu wasn't just CC's and Roadrunner's close friend. He was also Sonic's cousin, hence the same last name. Ironically, Machu had been trying to mediate the feud between CC and Sonic, hoping to prevent bloodshed. In the end, he became another casualty of the cycle of violence he had tried so hard to stop. Following the murder of his cousin Machu, Sonic made it his mission to hunt down those he believed were responsible. Unbeknownst to him, Toronto police had been intercepting his phone calls as part of an ongoing investigation dubbed Project Compound. An operation launched in late 2019, Project Compound was aimed at taking down Sonic and his underlings after Thorncliffe Park saw a sharp rise in shootings and gang activity. Throughout 2020, police surveillance revealed Sonic's heavy involvement in street crime. Wiretaps caught him selling at least 98 grams of cocaine over the spring and summer. But it wasn't just drug dealing. He was also plotting robberies, kidnappings, and even murder. In one case, he used a GPS tracking device to stalk, then later rob, Usman Munir, a man Sonic had unresolved issues with. When Sonic learned Munir was at a Hamilton shopping mall, he and his crew drove out there, forced Munir into his own car, and attempted to kidnap him. Munir managed to escape, suffering wrist and knee injuries, while his car was later found abandoned. Shortly after that incident, Sonic was shot again, this time in the arm while in Thorncliffe Park, though he recovered relatively quickly. Still, tensions only escalated. By July 2020, Sonic was informed that a man named Wahidullah played a role in Machu's death. Determined to get revenge, he and his associates planted a GPS tracker on a vehicle belonging to one of Wahidullah's family members.
Oh wow, that's kind of smart. That little tracking shit kind of smart. Kind of smart. It's easy, you feel me? It's easy.
It's planted a GPS tracker on a vehicle belonging to one of Wahidullah's family members. Using the GPS data, Sonic tracked down where Wahidullah lived and made plans to rob him. On the night of July 26, 2020, security cameras caught the moment Sonic and 3 others forced their way into Wahidullah's apartment.
I'm getting out the elevator. I'm getting out the elevator.
where Wahidella lived and made plans to rob him. On the night of July 20th,
if I'm the only, like, if I'm coming in by myself like this, right?
26th, 2020, security cameras caught.
I'm walking right out. If I see 3 niggas like that, I'm walking right out.
Caught the moment Sonic and 3 others forced their way.
Niggas start head down. But it looked like big fella right here in the gray. He got, like, he facing like this. If he try to move, nigga going, nigga, where the fuck you going?
Into Wahidella's
apartment. No, never mind. Yeah, I would have walked out.
Guns drawn.
Nah, they boxed him in.
They stormed into the living room, where Wahidella and another man were sitting. What started as an argument quickly escalated into a violent confrontation, as Sonic and one of his accomplices shot Wahidella several times, then fled the scene. Wahidella suffered gunshot wounds to his back, just above his right buttock, his right tibia, and his left foot. He had to undergo surgery to his bladder, bowel,
They probably did him dirty, bro. But they had the camera footage of that shit. They probably did him nasty, bro. They had him trapped in. Probably just... That shit's crazy, bro.
colon and abdomen, and had to have part of a broken pelvic bone removed. He was hospitalized for several weeks, including time spent in intensive care, and required physiotherapy and other rehabilitation measures afterwards. The other man found with Wahidella also suffered gunshot wounds to his chest, flank area, and hand. He had to undergo surgery and also spent a considerable amount of time in the hospital. Sometime in August 2020, about a month after the shooting, Sonic learned that 18-year-old Mavia Tahir had also been involved in Machu's murder, and police were closing in to arrest him. But Sonic wanted to get to Tahir first. Still under police wiretap surveillance, Sonic was overheard on August 11th, receiving a tip that Tahir had been spotted alongside another man, Rayan Adil. Wasting no time, Sonic hatched a plan to abduct Adil and force him to reveal Tahir's location. He even placed a GPS tracker on Adil's car and bought a handgun for $4,000 to prepare for the job. A little over a week later, wiretaps caught Sonic growing more desperate. On August 20th, he told associates he was willing to pay $10,000 for information leading to Tahir. Later that day, Sonic was recorded planning a kidnapping with an associate named Sabape, who said, "It's gonna work. We're gonna take that kid in his car." Sonic replied, "Yeah, that's what we're doing, fam. I swear to God," with Sabape adding, "He's gonna be crying like a and begging for mercy." The next day, Sonic upped the ante, discussing a $100,000 bounty for Tahir if direct capture failed. He also ordered another GPS tracker to be planted on Adil's car. But what Sonic didn't know was that Toronto police were ready to strike. Undercover officers removed the tracker from Adil's car, attached it to an unmarked police vehicle, and lured Sonic into following it. Once Sonic was locked in, multiple squad cars boxed him in. In a panic, Sonic tossed a loaded handgun out the car window, which police quickly recovered. Sabape was also arrested, found carrying another loaded firearm.
Hell of a plot twist, nigga. You ain't know that they was tapping your phone. You feel me? You put the GPS in there, they found that shit. Now they put it under undercover. Coach, that's a hell of a plot twist. You gotta run that back. That was beautiful.
Planted on Adil's car. But what Sonic didn't know was that Toronto police were ready to strike. Undercover officers removed the tracker from Adil's car, attached it to an unmarked police vehicle, and lured Sonic into following it. Once Sonic was locked in, multiple squad cars boxed him in. In a panic, Sonic tossed a loaded handgun out the car window, which police quickly recovered. Sabape was also arrested, found carrying another loaded firearm. Less than 2 weeks later, Project Compound reached its explosive climax.
Police seized cocaine, fentanyl,
That's some
marijuana,
good shit right there.
$100,000 in cash, and 7 firearms. There are 95 charges in all, and police allege the ringleader is a Toronto man, Salman Jogiat, who faces by far the most counts at 42, including 2 of attempted murder and 8 of conspiracy to commit murder. He is just 19 years old.
His age, yes, is of concern. It's a belief and alleged that this group purposefully set out to commit violent acts against targeted individuals for the sole purpose of monetary gain and retribution.
Less than 2 weeks after Sonic's dramatic arrest, Project Compound came crashing down. On September 3, 2020, Toronto's Gun and Gang Task Force executed a series of coordinated raids on 9 residences in Toronto and 3 in Cambridge. The results were massive. Over $100,000 in cash seized, 7 firearms recovered, along with a half kilo of cocaine, 18 pounds of marijuana, a stash of MDMA, and 65 grams of fentanyl. In total, 11 people were arrested, facing a combined 95 charges. At the center of it all was 19-year-old Sonic, who investigators named as the leader of the group. He was slapped with the most charges, including 2 counts of attempted murder and 8 counts of conspiracy to commit murder. And the dominoes kept falling. Just a few weeks later, on September 21st, police arrested 18-year-old Mavia Tahir, one of the original targets of Sonic's deadly manhunt. Tahir was charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder for his role in the killing of Machu. What started with the death of one Thorncliffe Park figure had spiraled into...
You see, they got the information from that, from the tapping age home. Okay, all right. And I feel like they saving his life at the same time too, because he was gonna get out of here. They was coming for him too. You know what I mean?
In the killing of Machu. What started with the death of one Thorncliffe Park figure had spiraled into one of the most violent crackdowns the neighborhood had ever seen. But even with Sonic and many of his associates behind bars, the story didn't end there. Life inside jail was a whole different battlefield for Sonic.
That's top 5?
Documents revealed he...
That's top 5 right there? Nah.
Life inside jail was a whole different battlefield for Sonic. Court documents revealed he struggled with the transition, getting into multiple fights, being pepper sprayed by guards, and even refusing to leave the visiting room on 2 separate occasions. When staff ordered him out, he lashed out with profanity and threats, even telling one guard he would f*** him up. Still, jail wasn't all chaos for Sonic. Over time, he began making serious changes. He completed his high school diploma while in custody, enrolled in college courses, and took part in socio-emotional and anger management programs. He also reconnected deeply with his faith, working closely with Islamic religious leaders at the Toronto East Detention Center. Sonic eventually started leading prayers and teaching religion to other inmates, a sharp contrast to the violent persona that once dominated the streets of Thorncliffe Park. Because of the pandemic, Sonic's trial dates were pushed back to 2024. His first trial centered around the death of CC. During the proceedings, the Crown contended that Sonic had planned and deliberated over CC's killing and was involved either as a principal or as a party. Sonic testified in his own defense, admitting that he had shot CC twice. He claimed it was in self-defense, saying that CC had unsuccessfully tried to shoot him first while Sonic was seated in the back seat of a white Honda. Sonic further testified that after firing his weapon, he immediately fled the scene. His defense team further argued, backed by evidence from the pathologist, that the 2 shots fired by Sonic did not cause fatal injuries. Instead, they claimed a third party, standing outside the vehicle, ultimately killed CC by shooting multiple times through the passenger side door. Throughout his testimony, Sonic was asked about the identities of others involved in CC's death. Although he had sworn to tell the truth, he
It was a third party. Who was with Sonic?
CC. During the proceedings, the Crown contended that Sonic had planned and deliberated over CC's killing and was involved either as a principal or as a party. Sonic testified in his own defense, admitting that he had shot CC twice. He claimed it was in self-defense, saying that CC had unsuccessfully tried to shoot him first while Sonic was seated in the back seat of a white Honda.
Okay. No. Okay.
Sonic further testified that after firing his weapon, he immediately fled the scene. His defense team further argued, backed by evidence from the pathologist, that the 2 shots fired by Sonic did not cause fatal injuries. Instead, they claimed a third party, standing outside the vehicle, ultimately killed CC by shooting multiple times through the passenger side door. Throughout his testimony, Sonic...
Yeah. So Sonic wasn't. Sonic ain't telling nobody. If it was a third party, Sonic ain't telling nobody. Or, where the fuck was Sonic though? Was he outside? Let's say he was outside on the driver's seat, on the driver's side. You feel me? No. Let's just say the nigga was in the. Why would? It's a third party though. How the fuck would they do that? That's tough though. What would Sonic be? If Sonic is on a driver's seat, bang bang, another nigga's on the other side dumping at him too? I don't know. That's good though. Get it back.
By shooting multiple times through the passenger side door. Throughout his testimony, Sonic was asked about the identities of others involved in CC's death. Although he had sworn to tell the truth, he refused to disclose any names.
Oh yeah, he not telling.
Explained he feared being labeled a rat, that a transcript of his testimony could reach the jail where he was being held, and that he or his family could be harmed. When pressed by the Crown Attorney during cross-examination, Sonic was quoted saying, "I cannot answer that question for you, ma'am. I'm afraid for my life." After multiple warnings from the judge, Sonic was cited for contempt of court. With the support of pathologist evidence, Sonic was found not guilty in the murder of CC. Instead, he pleaded guilty to contempt of court for refusing to name others involved, moving straight to sentencing. Reading his decision, just
What? So I don't get in trouble for killing a nigga, but I get in trouble for not tattling on a nigga? What? No way. We gotta hear that back. They didn't say that. We can't call him Tails of Toronto now. His name is Six Tails. Six Tails. You ain't say that, broski. What you mean?
Sonic was cited for contempt of court. With the support of pathologist evidence, Sonic was found not guilty in the murder of CC. Instead, he pleaded guilty to contempt of court for refusing to name others involved, moving straight to sentencing. Reading his decision, Justice Campbell was clear. By refusing to follow my direct orders about questions properly put to him, he was clearly guilty of contempt of court. Indeed, his refusal to follow those orders strikes at the very heart of the justice system, and now compels the imposition of a significant penitentiary term of imprisonment for his blatant contempt of court.
Because I'm not telling on niggas.
The defense recommended between 24 to 30 months. Campbell, however, ruled that a 3-year penitentiary term was appropriate, noting that it was
hell yeah. Give me that shit, nigga. Fuck yeah, nigga. So I get to kill the nigga. He did 3 years. 3 years for killing a nigga. That killed his... Well, no. 3 years for killing a nigga because he wanted to be big dog. You feel me? So now, somebody just got to take his spot for 3 years. He gonna come back out and be big dog again. And he ain't telling nobody. So niggas is gonna love him. What? Like, what? Hell yeah. I'm not getting in what? What, nigga? So I don't get in trouble for killing a nigga, but I get in trouble for tattling a nigga, and I just gotta do, what is that? 2, 12, 24, 30. That's 2 years and a little bit of change. It's 2 years and 6 months, nigga. Ain't shit. Ain't shit, bro. It's tough for him because I think, bro said that he having a little trouble in there. He was fighting and shit like that, so he might get a couple more months. But I ain't telling nobody, nigga ain't gonna kill me. Fuck. That's
Campbell,
crazy.
however, ruled that a 3-year penitentiary term was appropriate, noting that it was consistent with past sentences for similar cases.
Right? Oh my god. And the nigga is a fucking menace. Like the nigga was wilding out there, and he only has to do 3? Hell yeah.
Before Sonic was led away, Campbell addressed him directly, urging him to change his path. "I'm confident you can do better," he said before pointing out Sonic's accomplishments like completing his high school diploma and starting college courses while in custody.
Yeah, I had this nigga phone tapped. This nigga was putting GPS shit under niggas' cars and killing niggas. And in 3 years? Like, what the fuck? Who's his lawyer? Who finessed this play right here? This is a play of this is the play of the year game. Like this is beautiful. Like hearing that in court, you like it's not too shabby. That's not bad. It's not bad. You feel me? Yes. Yeah. Oh, he got a Rico. Oh, my fault. Alright, my fault. I ain't hear the other shit. But this one right here, this is beautiful. I ain't gonna lie, this is beautiful. My fault. I ain't know he had a Rico too. Shit.
Out Sonic's accomplishments like completing his high school diploma and starting college courses while in custody. Sonic's time in court wasn't over just yet. On June 18th, 2024.
Oh, okay, that's why you say, yeah, Burna Boy. That is Burna Boy. Yeah, free him too, gang. Burna Boy is tough. His music is tough. Okay, so it's top 5, Sonic and Burna Boy all in the John together. That boy's a menace. Holy.
Sentencing for Project Compound was underway. In relation to his involvement in the attempted murder of Wyadolla, the intercepted wiretaps revealing his drug trafficking activities and his persistent efforts to track down Mavia Tahir. Sonic was found guilty of 1 count of attempted murder, conspiracy to forcibly confine, possession of a firearm while prohibited, and trafficking in a controlled substance. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison. After receiving credit for 69 months already served, Sonic was left with 8 years and 3 months still to complete. According to Dr. Vitopoulos, a psychologist who worked closely with him during his incarceration, Sonic has expressed that he no longer feels hate toward anyone. Once released, he hopes to stay committed to his religion, marry his longtime girlfriend.
What year is this, though? What year is this? Did they say a year? He said a year?
Attempted murder, conspiracy to forcibly confine, possession of a firearm while prohibited, and trafficking in a controlled substance. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison. After receiving credit for 69 months already served, Sonic was left with 8 years and 3 months still to complete. According to Dr. Vitopoulos, a psychologist who worked closely with him during his incarceration, Sonic has expressed that he no longer feels hate toward anyone. Once released, he hopes to stay committed to his religion, marry his longtime girlfriend, and find steady work in the construction industry.
So 8 years, and you think your girlfriend not getting fucked on, nigga? You thinking about marrying her, nigga? Focus up, nigga. Get the fuck out of there first. He about to be out here going. I feel like he gonna keep his word though. I feel like he gonna change. You feel me? He gonna lock in, get the bread, marry his girlfriend. I feel like he gonna keep his word.
Whether he can truly leave his past behind remains to be seen, but for now, Sonic appears ready to turn the page on a life that almost destroyed him.
Yeah, I feel like he gonna change, cause you feel me? Karma came back to get him. He was wilding out here. Karma came back to get him. He got his time. He ain't die. Thank God, he ain't die. You feel me? He ain't die. There's only 2 ways out. When you want to play this game, there's only 2 ways out. You feel me? Only some people get lucky and make it out. Other people, feel me? You in jail, you die. You feel me? Thank God he ain't die. So feel me? Do your time. Get back out here. Keep your word. You feel me? This is another beautiful doc. My boy Sonic was going crazy. Another nigga. What was the other nigga that was going crazy too? Damn. The other nigga was going wow. What was that other nigga name though? He died too. He was going crazy. Let me see what the comments talking about. Oh man. What was the other nigga doc too? Road Runner. I wanna watch his shit too. Oh, this shit great, right?